What if I told you Justin Fields is light years ahead where he was last year? Sports Talk Chicago, here with Jon Zaghloul. Make sure you follow us right here on YouTube at Sports Talk Chicago. Find us all over the place socially at Sports Talk Chicago and on every podcast platform at Sports Talk Chicago as well. We're brought to you by our good friends at Amish Country Farms for the best Amish food in all of Chicagoland. Hit them up today in Orland Park and tell them Sports Talk Chicago sent you. Well, we have some news out of Bears camp, mini camp. Luke Getsy's come out and said the following. Justin Fields is, quote, light years ahead of where he was at this time last year. Very, very encouraging news to hear. Getsy said all of this, quote, where he was at this time last year to where he is now, I think he's just light years ahead of where he was, and I feel like he has a ton more to grow going forward. So we're excited to try to get the best out of him moving forward and keep working towards where we think he can go in 2023. As we know, Justin Fields last year, 1,143 rushing yards, not as much on the passing side, a very much run-heavy emphasis for him with the Bears. And the question is going to be, and we've talked about this a number of times on this program, how will the Bears utilize Justin Fields in 2023? It's exciting to hear these words from Luke Getsy, but if there's no action or adjustment or differences made in the offensive scheme and plan, we're not going to see the fruit of these sayings, the fruit of these improvements for Fields. We need to know where he's going. We need to know what exactly he's going to be doing on the field when he gets a chance to play. Is it going to be running Fields 20 times in a game and just trying to let him get first downs and move the chains? Or will the Bears finally, with the infrastructure they have offensively, let him pass the damn ball? No more run-first mentality. He's a passer. He's a quarterback. Will they give him the opportunity to sit back and pass? I will say this to start. We know the offensive line is going to be better. We know he'll have more time in the pocket to make throws. He won't be throwing to stone-handed wide receivers. He'll actually have legitimate weapons now as well. DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, who's going to be healthy. So there's more of an opportunity for Fields to succeed and drive up those numbers in the passing game. It's not to say he shouldn't run anymore, but we need to see more passing out of Fields. That's how the Bears are going to win games. If they repeat what they did last year, chances are they'll win maybe 2 or 3 more games, but they're not going to be what they should be this year. That's not a controversial opinion. It's the truth. Did they win a lot of games last year with Justin Fields running first all the time? No. It was exciting. It was fun to see Fields knock off a 60-yard touchdown run, keep the Bears in the game when they had really nothing else offensively. But it's going to be a whole different roster and different situation and different circumstances this year. Expectations are heightened. There's no more, or there should be no more, tanking talk. It's time to win. It's time to provide results. Everyone's going to be in their second year coaching and or playing. Getsy's back for year 2. Eberflus, Poles, Fields. You brought in weapons. Offensive line, wide receiver, even running back to an extent. No more excuses. No more time to wait. No more time to wonder what truly is Justin Fields. At Ohio State, he was a passer first. Now, Ohio State is a different system, but he was a pass-first QB. We need to see that this season, and it's exciting to hear this come out of Luke Getsy's mouth. I firmly believe there will be somewhat of an adjustment in offensive scheme this year. It's not going to be Justin has to run for 100 yards every game for us to have a chance. No, it's going to be, well, we know you can run, Justin, but we'd prefer if you passed. We did just spend hundreds of millions of dollars trying to make things better around you. Maybe you should utilize those weapons. Matt Eberflus said this, quote, part of that growth process for Justin is rhythm and timing. That's the footwork with Justin. He's been working on that, the quick pass, drop back pass, movement pass, and he's really made some big strides in that area coming in so far, both on his own and now coming into the phase 2 of the offseason. Article goes on to finish talking about top additions for the Bears and how Fields should be aided by better protection and pass-catching weapons, which we all know that. So now it's time to see results. And I say this months out, but really, it's going to be time to see results this season starting in September. And this is high praise from Luke Getsy. I think this is more of a story than people want to say or people want to admit. Some would be considered a non-story. Oh, who cares? Let's see it on the field. But I would say that a lot of this is truthful. This isn't spin or PR spin from the Bears or their PR staff. This is legit information. You're talking about somebody who, at this time last year, was learning a new offense with a new OC, new head coach, no weapons, trying to get rid of the stink that surrounded him from Matt Nagy and company still. There was a lot of work that Justin Fields had to do last year just to get an opportunity to do what he did last season. And what he did was great, but it could be better. So now we get to year 3. We get to an opportunity where there's been significant money spent essentially on him. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, the indirect investment of Brian Poles, investing essentially in Justin Fields without paying him directly. That's what he's done, paying for offensive line help, drafting offensive line help, drafting wide receivers, and also signing some as well and making trades for some on top of that. It's been exciting. And it's been so nice to see. It's been a complete 180 from what Poles did last year and his priorities last year. Little money spent, not enough investment into Justin Fields. More so will field him out. They did, and Poles has been happy enough to say he's our guy for the future. Let's invest around him. Smart. The main point of this whole article and this story and these quotes from Getsy and Eberflus is the fact that Justin Fields has to be ready for 2023, and I think he will be. He needs to transition from a run-first quarterback to pass-first. He needs to utilize the weapons that exist around him and appreciate what he's been given. And he needs to win games for the Chicago Bears. Simple as that. Doesn't have to be complicated. Win games, Justin. And this is a challenge, not a criticism. I firmly believe that with this roster, if Fields does what everyone says he's going to do, they're going to win 9 or 10 games. They have to. If Fields is going to play, even at last year's level, even if he turns into a run-first guy but could at least pass a little bit better and then has wide receivers who could catch footballs, it's going to get better from last year, guaranteed. In a perfect world, though, he becomes a pass-first QB who can run when needed, utilize his weapons, have more time in the pocket, and find ways to win football games. I think all of that is possible for Fields and for the Bears. It's great to hear all this from Getsy and Eberflus, but one thing remains, and that's actually seeing it on the field. We're going to have to wait 4 or 5 months to see it come to fruition. But I'm excited, and it's encouraging to hear these words. Got to remember, and I want to cut Justin Fields some slack to an extent, again. They're coming off a new head coach, a new OC, first year, no weapons, losing mentality, losing record, tanking mentality, really. And you just had to go through, the year before, a different OC, a different head coach, a whole different regime that threw you out to the wolves to die week 1. So we're talking about a seismic shift for Fields that he has to fight through and work through and find ways at the same time to still refine his skills and become a quality NFL quarterback. Very few quarterbacks are going to debut today ready for the NFL. It takes time to develop. And I would argue that Fields, unfortunately, has been stunted in his development to an extent because of the situation surrounding him. He's still done great. But I think he could have done even better if there was more continuity and more of a Justin Fields first mentality. This year is the first time, in my opinion, ever, that there's been a Justin Fields first mentality. First time. And I think that's going to lead to some wins, more than we thought we would see, but also significant improvement from Fields in the passing game and in his overall game. Point being, these are encouraging and these are fun to read. And I would hope that come game 1, we could see all these words come to fruition. It's up to Justin Fields now. But I think he's ready for this challenge. Thanks for watching today's program here on Sports Talk Chicago. Big thank you to John Meadows for directing and producing. We're presented by our good sponsors, Amish Country Farms. Hit them up today in Orland Park. Tell them Sports Talk Chicago sent you. Before you leave, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and follow us all over the place. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Sports Talk Chicago, and also on podcasting platforms wherever you get your podcasts at Sports Talk Chicago. Thanks for watching. So long, everyone.